Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and this is a RockBot update video. Wanted to make a couple announcements. I did do a listener question video that I sent back to the listener, and I want to post that. I want to actually send that out tonight. So I advise really watching this video. I think I did a good job explaining certain things about the tradeometer and the RockBot here. We have two major kind of indicators bots on the show. One is called the RockBot, one is called the tradeometer. Tradeometer is multiple time frame buy and sell indicator, and the RockBot is the divergence signal indicator. So we use these both together, but the beauty of the RockBot is that you could let it trade by yourself, because it is built on the NinjaTrader platform, and it's built to work and take trades. But as you know, when I built this, it was meant to identify divergences for us, and then for us to identify, make sure the market conditions were correct for a trade. So you always should do that. I'm totally against letting any type of black box trade for you because of the dangers out there until you become more experienced at it and understand what you're doing. But the purpose of the RockBot is to identify these great setups, even execute the trades. But then at that point, you have to understand it might take a trade right before the open, and there might be a lot of selling come in, or it might be a news type of day. It could be anything. You could, like today, we had Jerome Powell and Mnuchin testifying in Congress, and that showed a little volatility. And then at 9:30, the market, there was volatility then, and then overnight trading, you could actually see the market here react on Asia news. So there's a lot of little things that you have to pay attention to be a successful trader, and it takes a lot of work. But half the job is done for you, identifying the chart setup that you want to be trading. That's what this is. This is what's so great about this. And I'm about to make the announcement that I'm already starting to work on the second edition of the RockBot. Now, we put out the first RockBot 1.0 this past year, and it's been great. A lot of people have they receive it as a lifetime bonus. If you're a lifetime member at Day Trading Radio, you receive the code for free. You can subscribe to the page and follow it and shadow the RockBot and let it identify the setups for you. That we also have that option for you. But for the RockBot now, I am going to add a couple of things to it on the next release, which goes out. Of course, it gets updated all the time. To people who already have it, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to get the new updates. And what I noticed is, and we trade divergence all the time, but when I'm trading the ES or the MES or any of the futures markets, and seeing the results of this, it's amazing just to see it, because seeing is believing in this market. If you could actually see what I'm explaining, and then the bot pointing the setup out to you, and then seeing the reaction of the market, it is just incredible to see that. And then you become a believer. And from that point on, you have to decide your path in trading. But this is the greatest tool ever. You just have to know how to apply it. But it is absolutely the best tool to be used. And if you're a futures trader or some type of trader that trades quickly, scalper, and taking advantage of these divergences, it's just so powerful. So I've been when we first talk about divergences, and when I'm on the There's good divergences and there's bad divergences. Good divergences are steep divergences, where we have and if I could show you one, compared a couple. Actually, there's a little divergence here from this low. Let me put up the line. I wonder if I could snap mode. If that snaps right back in, stay in draw mode. That's what I need to do. I need to stay in draw mode. So there's kind of a little divergence here, versus that low versus this high here. And you get these nice little moves. There's a divergence here, but you don't really see it. But there is a slight divergence. There is a slight divergence here from this low right here, and the previous low on the stock, and the lower low, and the previous low and the higher low. You can see it here. But it's a divergence, and it internally we're already starting to see the shift in momentum, and that's kind of gives us and again, this is also after hours. This is something I want to share with you also. I'm not a big fan of after hours trading, but I let this run 24/7 usually on the show. Hopefully people really understand that it's at the mercy of news and stuff. And again, it's not meant to be every trade meant to be taken. It's meant to identify the setups for you. Now, the great thing about this is I have the opportunity to kind of improve this. Sometimes we don't have a great divergence, and again, this is the overnight trade. So what I was doing is doing a lot of back testing, going back, making sure everything looked good, and then I said, well, you know what? I'm always preaching about having the better stochastics, so let me make that an option on the RockBot. So right now I'm working on a switch or a parameter where you'll be able to pick the type of divergence, any divergence, or a strong divergence, medium divergence, or super strong divergence. That's really going to be based off your stochastic indicators, and the steepness and the between the low and the higher low on that. And that's what we always visually watch to see what that looks like, and it gives us but now I'm going to have the bot recognize the better stochastic divergences versus the shallow ones, and it'll be easy. It'll be a switch on the bot that you could just turn it on for a higher level of I guess more sensitivity mode, or a less sensitivity, the way you want to think about that. Better divergence, a steeper divergence, you might want to take just the better divergence, so it would be alerted to you, versus maybe some of the shallow divergences, which we don't always take. So I want to not, so that's being worked on right now, and I'm actually testing this version out right now. I haven't put it up. The old one is on the RockBot, but tomorrow I will start testing the new version here, or at least one of the newer scripts that I'm going to be running, and it has a different, not the same divergence formula, but a higher stochastic parameters on the D line, where we're supposed to be making that higher low on the stochastics versus the lower low. I want that, instead of above 20, or 20 is my, I want it to actually be above a higher number. So in this case, we're going to be using that 35 level as our divergence, 35, and that's going to give us a steeper divergence. So right now, I did some back testing, and I was just going through these, and we're seeing that every setup has been really a pretty decent one, and this is overnight too. So I went through this overnight, and I'm not, again, a lot of chop overnight, but you can see the divergence coming in. First profit taken, trailing stop comes up to break even, and you take it off. And even in that chop, it's able to identify. This is actually open right now. The market's this is currently the markets right now. We just had a divergence over here, and we actually just had a short divergence. And on the bot channel, if you look over here, you could see this lower high and the higher high on on this. And if I move this over, this is really nice to see, because this is currently what's active on. Oh, come on, let me fix this. What's going on here? This is currently what's active on the site right now. I'll try to zoom out here. So we did have a short divergence here, and that's the short divergence I just pointed out. So we actually, on the RockBot channel, you saw the short divergence right there, alerted first profit, second profit. I mean, it was a perfect setup there for that divergence. And then right before that, it was long, and it took those profits. But this was a perfect short here. Right up here, it was a perfect short. Like I said, it was on the other screen. It's on the RockBot screen right now. Overnight session. It's live right now. But I didn't have the RockBot short on my scans here. But that was a good divergence here. right here. Right there. That's a really nice divergence. And you can see the drop off here and the reason behind that. And again, we'll eventually, that'll also be adjusted. You'll have that parameter to switch off to a steeper divergence on the short and on the long. That's simple enough. So look for that to be coming. But right now I just switched over to a longer, steeper divergence setup. So we have the much higher divergence here. A much higher, steeper divergence on these type of setups. And you get these bigger and faster, and I think more secure moves here. So let's just go back and just take a look at some of the setups, and you'll see these. So I just want to point that out here. And again, here we have one overnight. It popped and then dropped and actually got the trailing stop, and it did not work out in that case. You know, again, I'm not a big fan of overnight because the overnight market could get very trendy and just drift and grind down. When your orders are taken on these platforms, they put the orders on the open market there that the people could see. You know, it's just sometimes there's algorithms out there that hunt your stops. I just prefer to be inside the regular market hours trading this way. And again, even the smaller divergence that we're able to pick up here, first target, and then it kind of moved up, had a trailing stop, and then the trailing stop came in. Divergence long, profit hit, trailing stop. Really just good stuff here. Look at this divergence long, nice pop, first profit, and then the trailing stop came up and captured the rest. Here we had a stop here, the one divergence long. It didn't look like much happened, but here we had another good divergence here, and these are identifying the better divergences now, and we're seeing much better results. Now, let's talk about results. We never really, I don't know if you're familiar with this. I never did a video on showing you how you could backtest this, so I'm just going to, just thinking about it now. Let's go to our Ninja Trader here. And you can see this is current trades. I actually have the bot on the bot channel right now trading the MES on sim mode, MES. So that's why these results are a little bit smaller in return. And we just had a trade right now. Just had a trade right now.
Order submitted. Order
that might be a good one too.
Order submitted.
Looks like it
Order
hits.
Filled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right.
Order submitted.
All right. All these are going off because they're all running on the same computer. So what I want to show you here. So we open that up. We go to new. We're going to go to Strategy Analyzer. And we're going to bring the Strategy Analyzer over here. And I want to reach down here. Now I saved this as, I changed this. So it's going to be the Thunderbird 1 minute buy. And the parameters, I'm just going to leave the parameters as they are. It's looking at first profit, 8 ticks, second profit, 16 ticks, an initial stop loss at 12 ticks, which could be a lot considering, but I want to show you how to, you could always adjust that. But the divergences will work so well that I want to give them time to work out. I don't want these big candles to go up and then come down because this is just 3 points. And sometimes we'll get those candles that'll take us up 3 points and down 3 points without even moving. Like I said, a visual confirmation of the divergence, you manually put your stop loss underneath the low candle of that divergence. That's how it should work. And that will be also added on to the next revision of the RockBot. It'll automatically put in that stop underneath the low candle of that divergence. So that is probably the biggest thing that is going to happen, which will be just perfect. I mean, that means that this thing will pretty much be hands-on, and then I'd almost feel comfortable just letting it run because it will, other than putting it in front of news and just saying, hey, I'm looking for a pound, and if I step in front of the news and it's just too volatile, or I just want it to run in a good market, I'll be able to pick and choose when I let this thing run. And so here we go, 1 minute buy. It's a back test. The instrument will trade. We'll keep it on the ES right now. So it's trading that 1 minute divergence. And I'm not going to back down. I want just to look at today and yesterday's. Let's take a look at actually today's market, the 30th. And then we have it at normal market hours. I'll just run it there and then we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes out of this. So I'm running it now. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. We'll bring it up here. And it's running back test on this. Shouldn't take that long. Shouldn't take long because I'm only doing a day here, unless I didn't copy it right. I think it's trying to take the whole year, which is going to take too long here. That's the problem. There's not enough power in that. Let me do that again. It takes a while to with all these parameters that I have. It really takes a long time to run the analyzer. You can see that the this is moving up now. See if I can do this fast. 1 minute. Instrument ES 920. Go to June 30th. June 30th. Trading hours. Use instrument trading hours. Alright, let's run it. That shouldn't take that long now. There it is. Alright, well. So looking pretty good. I can see total net profit of $1,487. Just what I want to see is really the trades here. So there were 29 trades. 29 trades. That's a lot of trades. 23 winning trades, 5 losing trades. The thing is, with the 12 ticks, your maximum looks like your largest loss could be 750, and that could, that's bigger than your largest winning trade. You'd like to be a little bit more balanced on that. But that's what is this? Average winning trade $214. Number of trades 29. 79% profitable. 23 winning trades. 5 losing trades. 1 break-even trade. They say that the profit factor is a good indication. It's 1.43. So what I'm going to do here is actually I want to switch this over and not trade the after hours session. So now we're going to just trade the real time session, because I don't want all this garbage trades at night where I'm not able to watch it. So we're going to go to real time, extended hours. We're going to go to real time. Again, let's run it and see what the difference. So we had, how many trades did we have? 23 trades, 5 losses, 79% success. Let's run this now with no after hour trading, just basically the open cash market. Alright, where are we here? Well, we still have a profit, looking pretty good. 760, let's see here. 7 trades only now. 85% profitability. 6 winning trades, 1 losing trade. Only 1 losing trade, and it was the maximum losing trade. But still, you still have a profit. And that's a pretty good profit factor, 2.02, 85% accurate. And I wonder if we could change that up. We could always experiment with the stop loss here. If you made that stop loss a little bit, well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna mess with that. This is the way I would run. This is the way I like it. So these are getting much better results than the shallower stochastic. Again, these stochastics now are much steeper and more stable, or more much steeper and better quality divergences. And as you can see, that's pretty good. I mean, 85% of the trades are profitable. 7 trades are taken. That's a lot more than 23. That's a lot of trades overnight. Wow. So let's go out 2 days here. Let's just go to the beginning of the week. Start date. And we'll see what it looks like here. It was 85%. Whoa! Now look at that. Holy crap! We're up $1,400. Profit factor almost pushing 3. Again, some of these sharp ratio, I don't pay attention to these too much. If you're out there, you do a lot of this work, you might know more of the terms here. Just want to concentrate on how many trades. So we took one more trade a whole day. So the criteria is a little bit stricter. So this strict criteria is going to give you less trades. And again, you have 9 winning trades, 1 losing trade. If you let this run for the month, it says, I mean, I could back test it for the month, but at these results right now, $21,921. But I know I'd be here for about an hour while this does the back testing. All right, so that's pretty good. So that's what I'm working on right now. We actually have a bot trade going on right now. Let's visit that. And again, here's your low, your divergence low. The trigger comes in when the stochastics are turning up. I also have it in the formula. It's very important because when you do get, sometimes the market does sell off and we move down fast enough where we have a lower low and the stochastics are still holding above the 20. You kind of want to have that rotation back up. So I have a part of the code that kind of only takes a trade if the stochastics are moving higher, from lower to higher over the divergence period. So that kind of gets the momentum going on this also. Now this was also a double bottom divergence right here. This was a classic double bottom divergence. I have to look into this one right now. I would have liked this one to be recognized. The double bottom, and the reason this wasn't recognized is because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I have it going back 5 candlesticks to be equal or lower. In this case, it's not lower and it's past the 5 candlesticks. I can adjust this. This would have been a textbook one to take. Oh, yeah. I want to see if I could adjust this and make this thing work. But look at this. Look at this alert here live with you. And again, this is actually set on, this is a very conservative way of trading this. You put it on the MES. I mean, you're not playing for, there's not a lot of risk there. If anybody's, using the bot for the first time, I highly recommend using the MES, the micros. Because you could use the set parameters, the 5 contracts, and you get scale. You could scale out, and you have the if you hit the target here, our trailing stop is going to come up, and you're going to be playing with the house money and stuff. And these divergences, like I said, show me a divergence, and I'll show you a move up every single time. You saw it. You saw the results, right? You did see them. You see them every day. All right, so that is kind of an update. And tomorrow, starting tomorrow, I will have this new script running on the RockBot channel. You will not have it. I want to test it out, make sure. I want to run them side by side, see which one gives us the better. I want to make sure everything's, working properly, and it's optimized the best way it could be. And then I'm going to be working on the some other things on this. The short side also. Back and forth. I don't even have the short side on this, but it's on the bot channel right now. 87. These are sometimes called $20 trades, $20 bill. If you're walking down the street, you get the divergence, it's like a $20 bill. It doesn't sound like much. Multiply that by how many contracts you're going in. I always keep things very low and let people scale up to their own size. But this is more of a, trying to help beginner traders not get overwhelmed in the market, make it, safe for them, and not to get blown out of the water so fast. If they make a mistake or something, you don't want to put that much to risk. So this is a good way of actually getting your feet wet, trading with real money, using the bot, and again, I would always adjust my stop to right underneath that candle. You could actually put that stop right underneath that candle there. I would just move it if I was trading it. See, we got very close. Up here, you might have wanted to just push that close button, close, and just close that trade out. Especially after hours. You might not get the big moves you're going to. I talked about this on one of the questions of a member who sent in a question, and I'm like, all right, you're probably going to get a trade in the direction of your trade, but there's no guarantee you're going to hit your set profit zone. You might have it set at 8 ticks and it goes to 6 ticks. Now, if you get up here and you start seeing a sell side divergence, you should recognize that and say, hey, you know what? I want to get out. I'm not going to deal with this. I want to take my $40 or $20 or whatever and move on. And the next trade's going to come. I'm going to do the same thing. Because this market here is famous for coming and going and getting everyone who's a little bit late or a little bit early. So I keep on shoving that down your throat. I keep on wanting you to understand. It's so important to, look for the signals. Divergences, number one. You see the directional trades after a divergence. 90% of these trades are working out. And it's just as easy to push the button and pocket that $20 bill at any point you want. All right, that's the update there. I just wanted to kind of update you and let you know what's happening here in Day Trader Radio in regards to the RockBot. I know we're excited to get this new update out there. I expect it to be probably done within 2 weeks, and it'll be running live on the RockBot channel tomorrow on for that, and going out until it gets finished. All right, so that's it. I want to see everyone in the morning. Once again, you get the RockBot as a lifetime member of Day Trading Radio, or you could get a subscription to the RockBot channel and watch it monthly, and just shadow it and have all the alerts. Very simple, different ways you could do that. So, this is DayTraderRockStar from DayTradingRadio.com signing off. I'll see you guys in the markets.